On episode 349 of Nintendo SwitchCraft, it's E3, baby. We've got the Nintendo Direct to unpack. Oh my god, so many things to talk about. Let's get started. SwitchCraft is brought to you live 3 times a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern and on Saturday at whatever time I can get to it. Tune in live over at twitch.tv/runjumpstomp. This episode of SwitchCraft is brought to you by Aerslia Slierion. Get SwitchCraft and my other content ad-free for as little as $1 over at patreon.com/runjumpstomp. And feel free to leave a voicemail for the show by heading on over to runjumpstomp.com/voicemail from any device, and I may even play it on the show. I've got a bunch of voicemails queued up. I just need to edit them, and I have been way too busy to do so. Oh my god, people, it's E3. Let's get started.
Now you can play Donkey Kong on your ColecoVision, Atari VCS, or Intellivision video game system. Donkey Kong has multiple screens, just like the arcade game.
All right, man, oh man, I am recording this episode a little later than usual. I'm almost an hour late, but I think it's worth it because I was at work, shaping young minds, and then I got home and I sat down and I watched the Direct. I watched it live. We're still in the same stream. I watched it live so everybody could see my reaction to all the news, and holy cow, there is some news that I did not see coming. And honestly, it completely turns around how I felt about E3. Like, I found this, I'm going to talk about this at length on Run Jump Stomp, which I record on Fridays. So make sure that you guys check that out. But I was ready to write off E3 until late last night, and then I thought there was only one saving grace from E3 this year, and then Nintendo comes in and just blows me away. And honestly, I would say that overall their full presentation was just kind of okay. I was like, all right, cool. And then at the end, they just nailed it, and they nailed it twice in a row at the very end there. What are we talking about? Okay, well, first off, I guess I have to say that if you haven't watched the Direct yet, then don't listen to this because it's going to spoil the Direct for you. If you don't care about that kind of thing, that's cool. That's fine. But I am going to talk about all things Nintendo Direct, and I don't want to bury the lead. I want to jump right in and talk about the very first thing that comes to mind when you talk about the Nintendo Direct, and that is, oh my god, there's a sequel to Breath of the Wild being made. What? Like, for real? Are you kidding me? A Breath of the Wild sequel? Yeah, there's a Breath of the Wild sequel, and actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I should have queued this up ahead of time so that I could play it on the video version, but I'm sure that you can find Breath of the Wild 2. All right, so yeah, here we go. I'm gonna bring up video of it. It just looks so good, so very, very good. Like it opened up and it had like this weird, I don't know, like writing, kind of swirly writing happening, and then they end up showing Link and Zelda wandering through a cave together, and I was like, wait a second, is that what I think it is? I was so confused, and I at first I even said, wait a second, is this like a Netflix series or something like that? I don't know what it is that I'm looking at, but Nintendo, they surprised us, and sure enough, at the very end, they said a sequel to Breath of the Wild is currently in development. Now, when is that game going to come out? That's a good question. One of the things that somebody in chat asked, and I thought it was a very good question, is do we think that Zelda or Metroid are going to come out first? Like, which one do we think is going to be released first? And I would I would venture to guess, because from looking at the gameplay footage, it feels like what I'm looking at is the same engine as Breath of the Wild. They already have the engine done. They already have a lot of the assets done. They already have most of the world built. All they do have to do is I mean, we may be traveling across the same landscapes that we did before, unless Link and Zelda are going to another location, in which case I like, part of me says there's no way that they're going to a new location, because in the video they show like Castle Hyrule kind of lifting up, and it almost makes me wonder if they're going underneath Castle Hyrule and that's what we're seeing. Or are we going to some other place? Or are we going to retread the same locations that we saw before? I don't know. All I know is that Breath of the Wild is my favorite video game of all time, hands down. No question, no questions asked. I adore that game. I've got 200 hours into it, and the only reason I don't have more is because if I put it into the Switch right now and started playing, I would be sucked right back into it. I adore that game. It is an achievement in video gaming, and it is my favorite video game of all time. I think it's the best game of all time, and getting more from that world is incredibly exciting to me. Incredibly exciting. So, Nintendo, you did it. You really got my attention. Now we just have to wait and see how long before it comes out. But I think what I was trying to the point that I was trying to make is that all of these assets are already done. Nintendo does not have to reinvent the wheel here. So it's not going to take them nearly as long to make the sequel to Breath of the Wild as it will Metroid Prime 4. And the reason is because they already have a lot of work done. Think of it this way. The best analog that I would say for this would be Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask. All right, that was an asset swap basically. They created a new story, and they reused a lot of the assets from the first game, and that allowed them to turn around and bring out Zelda, Majora's Mask in a relatively short time. Now, it didn't take them nearly as short a time as they had planned on, but Majora's Mask turned around and came out very, very quickly as far as development time for Zelda titles go. So I fully anticipate that Zelda, Breath of the Wild 2, or whatever it is that they're going to call it, they're not going to call it Breath of the Wild 2, but whatever that next game is, I think that I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say that that is next Christmas. Unless Metroid comes out next Christmas. And I don't think that's going to happen. Metroid, they scrapped everything and they're starting over from scratch. And now some people might say, well, hold on, Bill. You're expecting it to come out in 2020. Yes, I am. I'm expecting the new Zelda game to come out in 2020 because it's not like they haven't been working on this for a long time. In fact, I remember talking about it on this show multiple times where, hey, Nintendo is currently hiring somebody to be a dungeon designer on a Zelda game. And like, I remember doing that back in very, very early episodes of Nintendo SwitchCraft. So this is not something that they just started working on. They've been working on it for a while. And I think it would have, Nintendo's already going to be paying the price for announcing a game before they should have. Metroid is the example. Another example is Animal Crossing. They announced something before they should have, and they're going to pay the price for it. The price is that there's a lot of people who are disappointed that Metroid Prime 4 got shelved and restarted. A lot of people are going to be disappointed or are disappointed that Animal Crossing is not coming out this year. That's something else that we found out from this direct. So for Nintendo to announce Zelda 2 years ahead of time, I think that would be a big mistake. Joel Mead 24 says spring 2021. That's a possibility, but I think that Nintendo is aiming to release this Zelda game next Christmas. That's my prediction, and I would be very sad to be wrong. But if that means we get a better game, then I'm perfectly happy waiting, because we've got a lot to play right now. Joel Mead 24 in chat is saying spring 2021 would be 4 years from Breath of the Wild. I understand that, but they don't have to remake everything. So that means that the speed at which they can develop something is pretty like, look at the amount of time that it took them to turn around and make Majora's Mask after Ocarina of Time. So actually, I'm going to Google it right now. Ocarina of Time. What's the release date of that game? It came out in November 1998, and then Majora's Mask came out in 2000. So that was like 3 years. All right, November 98, actually not even 3 years. November 98 to April 27th, 2000. I think that Nintendo can launch that game in 2.5 years. I think it's possible. So I'm anticipating that, and hope I'm not wrong, but it's possible that I will be. All right, we got the big news out of the way. Let's talk about everything else that happened in the Nintendo Direct. And obviously, you can watch the Direct yourself. You don't need me to list everything. So I'm going to go through and I'll talk about some stuff, but some stuff I'm going to pass on and not talk about. The first thing that I want to make sure that I'm doing, just wanted to make sure I'm on the right profile. So the first thing that they showed was Smash Brothers reveal, and they brought in the Dragon Knight hero, and which reminds me, I really need to go back and finish playing Dragon Quest 11. Did I say Dragon Quest or Dragon Knight? I meant to say Dragon Quest, whatever it is that I said. But Dragon Quest 11, they're bringing that guy, the dude with the long hair from Dragon Quest 11. They're bringing him in, which I thought was kind of cool. But they're also bringing in other heroes from the Dragon Quest games. And this should surprise no one. There were rumors that this was going to happen, but I did not anticipate that we would have all these different versions of it. Now, the question that we have to wonder is, are these Echo characters, or are these just different skins? And my money is on they're probably different skins. Kind of like you can play as the different Bowser kids in place of Bowser Jr. in Smash. I think that this is going to be the different skins when you play as the hero from Dragon Quest. I think it's really cool. And I love the idea that they included him. And I figured that was all we were going to get from Smash Brothers. But then after that, they ended up showing off that we were getting another character in Smash. And this is one that people have been asking about a lot, like a ridiculous amount. People keep asking for this character to come to Smash, and finally it's going to happen. And Nintendo did this amazing fake out again, where they had it was Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, and King, what's his damn name? The crocodile guy. I can't remember his name. He's awesome. Anyway, they had those guys, King K. Rool. Thank you, Joel. They had those guys hanging out in Donkey Kong's house, it looked like, and then they looked out the window and they showed the shadow of this character, and it looked like Banjo Kazooie. And I said, "Oh, that's Banjo Kazooie." And for me, having never played Banjo Kazooie, you gotta give props to the art department, because even I, somebody who'd never played a Banjo Kazooie game, recognized the profile immediately. And then they showed, oh no, it's Duck Hunt, the dog and the duck making that shadow, which was hilarious. I laughed loud when I saw that. But then, of course, the cat's out of the bag. We knew that it was going to be Banjo. They wouldn't show that silhouette and then not bring the character in the game. So then they show the character. He looks really cool, or I guess they look really cool. I will say that like that part was really really fast. The first one where they showed the hero from Dragon Quest, they kind of drew that out a little bit, and they showed off something that I thought was really interesting. It seems like you have different moves that you can choose from for your neutral smash, or I'm assuming it's neutral smash. So just like in a Dragon Quest game, you hit a button, a little menu pops up, and you can go down the menu and select how it is that you want to attack when you do this attack, which I think is very, very cool. Kind of a combination of oh god, what's the name of the character that does that? From Xenoblade Chronicles, Shulk. Kind of like how Shulk can hit a button and change how he moves, either jumps really high or moves really fast or has smash powers or whatever. Like that's what it reminded me of. And I think that's I love how they find a way to make every character in the game, well, not every character, but many characters in the game feel very, very unique. So I'm very, very excited about having that Dragon Quest character in the game. I will definitely try it out. I've got the Fighter's Pass. That's coming out in the summertime. And then Banjo Kazooie comes out in the fall. And I anticipate that probably sometime this summer we will find out who the next character is. I think that Sakurai said that we would find all of them this year. And we've got Joker, Dragon Quest, Banjo Kazooie. Is that it so far? I think that's it. I can't think of anybody else that we've got. I don't think that Piranha Plant counts as one of those 5. So we still have 2 to unveil. Anyway, let's move on and talk about the other details. Let's see. They showed off Pokemon a little bit, and they said that they reiterated that it's coming out on the 15th. And then they did some stuff on Treehouse, and I'm not talking about anything related to, well, I'm going to talk about very little that has to do with Treehouse, just because this episode's already going to be much longer than I'd like to put out. So, Pokemon Sword and Shield. A new generation of Pokemon is coming to the Nintendo Switch system. Become a Pokemon trainer, embark on a new journey in the Galar region, and unravel the mystery behind the legendary Pokemon Zycan and Zamazenta. You can explore the wild area, which is a vast expanse of land where the player can freely control the camera and participate in max raid battles, in which players will face off against gigantic and super strong Pokemon known as the Dynamax Pokemon. Cool, I guess. I'm not super excited about it. I'm not like down on it. I'm just like, it's far enough away. I will pick that game up and I will have fun with my son. I probably won't play it at launch because it'll probably be Christmas kind of thing. You know what I mean? Then when they talked about Luigi's Mansion 3, where Luigi is embarking on a vacation with Mario and his friends, but the hotel that they're staying at is like the Nightmare Hotel. And actually, they showed very early in the footage where Luigi's trying to read a book and he dozes off. I almost wonder if the entire game is going to be Luigi dreaming. It's not like we haven't seen that happen before with Mario and Luigi. I can't remember which one it was, but it was the one where Luigi was sleeping the whole time. I'm just going to take a quick drink real quick. All right, sorry about that. The thing that jumped out at me is it has multiplayer. So Professor Egad invented a way for Luigi to make a goo Luigi, which is like a slime version of Luigi, and he has different powers, like he can walk through bars and stuff to get to different places. Luigi can fire a plunger, which then sticks to things, and then he can try and you pull on that plunger to take things away. And they showed it taking a shield away from a ghost. This is the kind of thing that I get very, very excited about. The reason that I love Nintendo games is because they always find a way, even in their sequels, to bring new gameplay elements to things, which looks very, very cool. They also have an online mode, which is called Scare Scraper. You can play either online or locally with up to 8 players on 4 Nintendo Switch systems. You will need to have other cartridges, or everybody has to have the game. That game is coming out in 2019. They didn't say an exact date. It's got to be November. It's got to be, or not November. It's got to be October. It has to be October. They showed off Link's Awakening. And there's this really cool, I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. There's this really cool amiibo that Mr. Aonuma was showing off. Link's Awakening amiibo. It just looks so fantastic. I'm going to have to get this. It looks great. But for, what was I talking? Oh, yeah. They showed off Link's Awakening, and the thing that jumped out at me that is very, very exciting is that players can make a dungeon in Link's Awakening by taking pre-generated dungeon tiles and putting them in whatever order that you want, and then you can share that dungeon that you created with your friends, and they can try and defeat it in a certain amount of time. Very, very exciting. We've been asking ever since Mario Maker came out. We've been saying we want a Zelda Maker. At least I have, where you can make like a little dungeon. And now we're going to be able to, but it's not going to be nearly as robust as Mario Maker or Mario Maker 2, but that's okay. I think it's very, very cool. So it says here, I'm going to find battle enemies, conquer numerous dungeons, and uncover secrets on the island while encountering Super Mario enemies like Goombas, Chain Chops, and Piranha Plants. Players can also earn chambers, which are dungeon rooms, and arrange them to complete objectives in the new chamber dungeon. Launching along the side will be the new Link amiibo figure that lets players put this adorable new art style in the palm of their hand. A special Dreamer edition will come to the game, and the Dreamer art book, which features concept art from Nintendo Switch version of the game. The game and amiibo are launching on September 20th. September, by the way, pay attention to that month, because there's going to be a lot of games coming out in September this year, and you're going to have to make decisions. One thing, you know what? Let's take a second and thank our sponsors. And when we get back, we're going to talk about something that is definitely not going to be coming out in September.
Do the Mario, swing your arms from side to side. Come on, it's time to go. Do the Mario, take one step, and then again, let's do the Mario all together now.
Oh my goodness. Animal Crossing not coming out this year. They called it Animal Crossing New Horizons. Players embark on an ultra exclusive Nook Incorporated deserted island getaway package and enjoy a peaceful existence full of creativity, charm, and freedom to roll up their sleeves and make new life whatever they want it to be. Players can collect resources, and they can craft into everything from creature comforts to handy tools. As they set up a homestead, they can decorate freely both inside and out, and it is coming out March 20th, 2020. March is a very busy month next year, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But I love the idea that you can collect items and then use these items to craft in the game. This is very different from previous Animal Crossing games, and I am very excited about that. I'm a little bummed that it's not coming out this year. I was really hoping it was going to come out this year, but it's not coming out this year. It's coming out next March. Something else that's coming out next March, which is not on a Nintendo system, is Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's coming out March 3rd next year. And I'm not going to talk about it on here, but damn, I'm going to have a hard time deciding which of those two games I'm going to be playing, because Final Fantasy VII Remake was my game of show for E3 this year, and now I don't even know what the hell I'm going to do because of Nintendo throwing in this Zelda stuff. All right, let's see what else we've got. New Amiibo figures featuring characters from the fighting game are on their way. On September 20th, Nintendo is launching Amiibo for Snake, Ivysaur, Squirtle. In November, Amiibo of Incineroar, Simon, and Chrom are due, followed by Dark Samus and Richter in 2020. So, I talked about this before, and I said I thought Amiibo were done. I figured that Nintendo would continue and they would continue along with what they've been doing with Amiibo as far as finishing out the Smash roster. But after that, we weren't going to see anymore because we hadn't heard much. But now we've got this Link Amiibo from Link's Awakening, so I don't know what the hell to think. Nintendo, they just keep us guessing all the time. All right, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. They're getting DLC with some paid expansion pass featuring characters and stuff from the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, and Marvel Knights. We don't know exactly when that stuff is coming out, but the game launches on July 19th. That's nothing that we didn't know at this point. Fire Emblem Three Houses. We already knew that game was coming out on July 26th. There's not much new information about that, so I don't want to focus on it. Astral Chain. This is a game that we know very, very little about. In fact, I thought that it would be a bigger part of the Direct this year. Well, at this Direct, I guess. Mostly because we knew it was coming out this year. We don't know anything about it. They told us very little last time, and they told us not much else this time. What they did say is that it's a synergetic action game. It's from Platinum Games. We already knew that. Humanity's last chance against the interdimensional invasion is a sentient weapon called the Legion. As a rookie officer in an elite police task force, players will work together with their Legion to solve cases and save humankind. Players can change legions on the fly to vary their style and unleash stylish combos. So basically, the way that gameplay works is you have the astral chain. You can capture a legion with it, think kind of like Pokemon. And then when you're fighting, you can call that legion out and have them fight alongside you, which is kind of cool. The combat is still bananas fast and looks really, really fun. Excuse me. And it is scheduled to launch on August 30th, which is essentially September. So now we've got September stuff piling up again. Deus Ex Machina, September 13th. I'm gonna take a hard pass on Deus Ex Machina. I played the demo. I was not impressed. I'm hoping that they've improved it and that they put out another demo in order to convince those of us that that didn't want to, that weren't impressed the first time around. I hope they fixed the things that I didn't like and they give me a new demo in order to convince me. But otherwise, I'm gonna take a pass on that, and that comes out September 13th. Cadence of Hyrule comes out in 2 days. I expected that game would come out today. I was wrong, but I was pretty close, kind of close. It's coming out June 13th. Definitely a game that I want to pick up. I can't wait to play it. The music sounds fantastic. Every time I've seen Cadence of Hyrule, I've been super excited for it. It's got 25 remixed classic Zelda tunes which is just fantastic. Dragon Quest XI-S Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition, longest title ever. I own Dragon Quest XI on the PS4. I've not beat it yet. That game comes out again September. Like, Nintendo, figure out your pacing here. There's so many games coming out in September. That game comes out September, and I need to finish that game before September gets here, or I will just end up buying it again on the Switch so that I can take it with me. So if you don't know what this game is, it's the latest in the Dragon Quest games. You are the luminary. There are people who are after you because you're the luminary, and it's really, really cool. The Switch version has an expanded storyline as well as the ability to switch your game between the HD version and the 16-bit version. It just looks gorgeous. Obviously it looks prettier on the PS4, but like it's a more complete version on the Nintendo Switch. So I need to finish that game or I will end up buying it again. Speaking of Dragon Quest, we've got Dragon Quest Builders 2 that comes out. Excuse me. That comes out July 12th, and there will be a demo which will come out on June 27th. If you've played the first one, you know that what to expect. This game looks like it's really, really fun. My son enjoyed playing it. I do know like other Nintendo podcasters that I've talked to adore the first one, and I haven't played the first one, but it's definitely something that's on my wish list. I don't know if I'll pick it up at launch, but now that there's a demo, I'll definitely be checking out that demo. This is something that's been rumored for a really, really long time, and now it's official. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition is coming to the Nintendo Switch. We don't know when, sometime this year. That includes the two expansions, Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine. These expansions, I haven't played The Witcher 3, but for the people who have and who've played these expansions, they will tell you that these expansions are games of their own. This is a massive game, and when you pick up this game later on this year, you're going to be playing this game and probably nothing else for a very, very long time. And that's almost enough to convince me not to play the damn thing. Mario and Sonic at the Olympics, I don't care. I'm not excited. It comes out in November. For those of you who are excited, hooray. This was surprising. Netflix is bringing a video game version of the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Tactics. It feels like a Final Fantasy Tactics game, if that makes sense, or a game like Shining Force. That's what this kind of reminded me of when I saw it, and I'm very, very excited because I love the art style that they showed. Very reminiscent of the movie, the Dark Crystal. And if you're confused, like, why is Netflix doing this? Because Netflix is bringing out the Dark Crystal, the Age of Resistance, like it's a TV show or a movie. I can't remember which, that's going to be on Netflix. So I'm very, very excited for that. Coming out this year, probably alongside when the actual show comes out. So we'll see. Trials of Mana is a full HD remake of the third entry in the Mana series. And I know that there's a lot of people who are like, but what about the other Mana games that have never been released in the US? Well, good news. That is also coming out and is actually already out. It came out today. They called it Collection of Mana. This is from Square Enix, and it brings the first 3 titles from the Secret of Mana series to the Switch in an all-in-one package. And this is the first time that these games have been released in in the West. So that's pretty exciting for people. There's so many people who adore these games, but can't play them in English. Well, now you can, and that is pretty exciting. Trials of Mana is coming out 2020. Then we've got Contra Rogue Core. I thought this looked awful. I thought that this looked really, really bad. That comes out on, again, September. It comes out September 24th. It's from Konami. It looks really bad. I'm not interested in it at all. But then they showed off that the Contra side-scrolling combo package that's coming out, like that, I think that was out today, if I remember correctly. There was definitely information overload. We got to go a little faster. Let's see. No More Heroes 3. I have no expectations for this game. I haven't played a single No More Heroes game. I kind of have heard of Travis Touchdown. I know people adore those games, but No More Heroes 3 is coming in 2020. Then we've got Empire of Sin, which puts you in the heart of a ruthless criminal underworld from the 20s. The thing that I liked about this is that it's a game that's set in a game setting which we don't often see. You know, you're always fighting against dragons with a sword, or flying around in space with a laser gun or something. You know, we always see the same places, or it's a military shooter or something else. We never see things or games that are set like in the Prohibition era Chicago, that kind of thing. That's very interesting to me, and I like it when games are unique. So Empire of Sin, I'm interested in that. Then they showed off a remake of Panzer Dragoon, which I called Panzer Dragon by accident, and chat called me an idiot, which they should have, because I am. And then 2 Resident Evil games are coming to the Nintendo Switch, which I don't really care about either of those. I do want to play Resident Evil 2 on my PS4, though. Okay. Then we listed off a whole bunch of other games, and we're already at 36 minutes, so I'm going to try and wrap up. Dead by Daylight, we already knew, September 24th, again, September. Stranger Things coming out July 4th, right alongside the TV show, which my family and I just finished last night, or the night before. We just finished watching Stranger Things Season 2 for the second time. Spyro Reignited, okay, Just Dance 2020, I got to take a second and just say, Just Dance 2020, also coming to the Wii. That is hilarious. And my first reaction when I heard that was, wait a second, it's coming to the Wii and not the Wii U? And somebody in chat pointed out, hey, Bill, the Wii U's backwards compatible, so it's also on the Wii U. And that's a very good point. But Just Dance 2020, November 5th. Super Lucky's Tale, coming out this fall. Minecraft Dungeons, which looks so good. It's Minecraft, but Diablo. I mean, 2 things I love. Spring 2020. Ni no Kuni remake, Wrath of the White Witch from Level 5 is coming out September 20th. Again, September. September is like the most insane month for video games this year. Catan is June 20th. The Sinking City this fall. Alien Isolation. Listen, people, listen. If you like scary games and you haven't played Alien Isolation yet, you are missing out on a fantastic game. Now, if you have another platform to play it on, the PS4, the Xbox One, the PC, play it on those. But if you Switch is your only option and you want to be scared and have a fun time, then you have to pick up Alien Isolation. That game is dope. I love that game. Let's see. Hollow Knight. I know that there are people who adore Hollow Knight, but I haven't played it myself. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles is coming out this winter. I will definitely be playing that. I had the original Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles on my GameCube, but I couldn't really take advantage of it because that required that you had all these link cables and four GBAs to hook up to your GameCube in order to really take advantage of that game. So I bought it and I regretted buying it just because we couldn't really fully take advantage of it. But now, like they even showed off that you can play like with your phone. So you don't even have to have, like, you can probably just have a Switch and everybody use their phone. Like, I'm excited for Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered coming out this winter. And I just dropped my camera lens thing, the lens cover. Sorry for the noise. Dauntless is coming out fourth quarter this year. Wolfenstein Youngblood, July 26th. Doom Eternal, soon. And Elder Scrolls Blades, this fall. I don't care about Elder Scrolls Blades. No, thank you. And then the last piece of information that I wanted to make sure that I say, and I don't know if I already did or not, there's a tweet from Nintendo of America that said, Mr. Tezuka has confirmed that the ability to play online multiplayer with friends is coming to Super Mario Maker 2 in a future update. Stay tuned for more information to come. Thank you for listening, Nintendo. Thank you. That is so very important that they listen. Thank you. I'm very, very happy about that. Okay, I've been talking for 40 minutes straight. Thank you guys for listening. Let's get to the outro, okay?
Hello, look. Hey, listen.
Become a part of the community over at the runjumpstomp.com Discord. runjumpstomp.com/Discord. You can also watch the show live over at twitch.tv/runjumpstomp. Get a hold of me through Twitter at runjumpstomp. Use the hashtag Nintendo SwitchCraft. If you want to support the show, stop by runjumpstomp.com/thank you for more content like this. Check out runjumpstomp.com/shows. I'm going to be doing a full-on E3 wrap-up on Friday. And we're going to have a bonus episode of Nintendo SwitchCraft sometime soon with other Nintendo podcasters. We're all going to get together and talk about stuff. So look for that in your feed coming up soon. The music that you're hearing right now is Corneria Star Fox remixed by Noteblock. No Star Fox news today. Anyway, goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye.